Hi everyone, we're back! Welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds, a podcast that's been away because of the holidays. Mm-hmm. We're two ordinary nerds that just drink on some beer.
Yeah, that's
How
it.
you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Good, man. How was your holidays?
It was well. It went well. We went to Colorado with the family. It was fun.
Yeah, you went snowboarding.
That is true. I hit the slopes, and Colorado was a lot of fun. It's something you don't do every day.
Yeah, never been. Sounds pretty fun.
There you go. Really?
I'd want to go. Yeah, I definitely want to go.
So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, first off, what are we...
Oh yeah, we have to talk about the beers. It's been so long, I forgot the order.
We're today's a special one. We're drinking on a beer that my uncle brewed for us. Actually, he brews his own beer. It's like a ginger IPA. I don't remember all of the details because he gave it to me a couple weeks ago, and I honestly forgot what it was called. But it's delicious. So yeah, we're both drinking on that.
I like that. I like it. It's good. It is IPA. It is better.
Yeah.
I do like it. I'm not very...
It's definitely a beer you would drink one or two of and then that's it. It's really strong. It's not one that you would drink a bunch of.
No, but it's good. It's a good beer. It has a good notes. So
yeah,
I enjoyed it. Like if somebody's listeners out there want to send us some beer so we can try, send them. We all drink them.
Yep. Send us beer.
Yeah.
www.sendusbeer.com.
Yeah, Boulevard, please.
Yeah, Boulevard. Give us all the tours.
Yeah, exactly. Give us one of each so we can...
We're pretty famous now, Boulevard. You should know this by now, so we're just helping you with publicity.
Exactly.
That 15 views is actually 15 million viewers, so...
It is. Every day is more and more.
Yep. So today we're going to talk about some, we got a lot to catch up on. So we're going to talk about, obviously, Rogue One. We haven't talked about that. We're going to talk about Vikings, Sherlock. I'm going to talk about Doctor Who at the end a little bit, the new Christmas special, and then Passengers, and anything else that comes up in between.
That's good.
So yeah, we're going to...
I think we should follow the clues, my dear Watson.
Yes. What do you want to talk about first?
I'll see. Let's go first with Star Wars, just because it's the...
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, Rogue One, fantastic. I wasn't ever worried that it was going to be a bad movie. I was just intrigued as to how they would make it a movie and make it work, and it didn't involve everyone else.
I thought it was a movie that is a good example of how to do a movie based on something else. It was Star Wars, but it wasn't. It was its own particular. Yeah, they had the little, the Force, and they had that Vader, but it wasn't about Jedi's versus the Sith. It was the political aspects of, there's the rebellion, and there's this, and they're regular human beings fighting, and it's, it was a fun movie. It's fun. It's, if you want to see a Star Wars movie, there's Jedi versus Sith. This is not your movie. But if you want to watch a fun movie that is inspired in that world, go and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, and it's neat too because most of the time we just see the Jedi battles or star fights, but this actually puts you in the front lines of, rebels fighting other people. Because the only time we've ever really gotten an instance of that is in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, and it was great. The action was amazing. I think it's one of the best Star Wars.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
But I mean, it's because the action was so good. It's like Episode 1. If you only judge Episode 1 in the Jedi versus the Sith battle, so Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul, that's a fucking great movie.
That's a great
That's the best lightsaber duel.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And that's why I remember when people came out of the movie theaters, they were like, "This is fucking great," because that's basically the end. And it's a great. But this is the same way, but during the whole entire movie. The battles are fantastic. It's an action movie, and they know what it. And they have a good storytell. They got great actors.
It reminded me in the beginning of episode 7 where Ray and Finn are running in that little shithole town she was from, and everything was exploding around them, but it was just them, no Jedi stuff yet. I thought it felt like that. It felt like a completely different story, something new, and it was a really good way to put something new into this universe.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's a perfect way to go to Han Solo's movies, because Han Solo should not have no experience with Jedi at all.
Yep.
And it should be like that. It should be give me a good story, give me good action, and give me good actors, and it's good.
Yep.
I think the actors were great. I mean, Felicity Jones did a great job as Jyn Erso. She did a good job.
Mads Mikkelsen, per the usual, is amazing.
Yeah, I think Diego Luna, I heard the story about this Hispanic girl who took her father to see this movie because his father has a deep accent, and how Diego Luna wanted to keep his deep Mexican accent. And for somebody who has an accent, a deep accent, it was something special to see, like, yeah, you know, they made him sound American.
I thought it was you.
You did?
I looked at our friend, and I was like, is that Daniel?
I'll take it as a compliment.
I like Alan Tudyk's part as the robot. The robot really cracked me.
Yeah, he did great. He did great. I also thought it was great the Donnie Yen.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
I like to see him. Have you seen the Ip Man movies?
I have not, but I've seen the trailers and stuff.
They're amazing. So he did good. It's good to see, you know.
I like
the diverse cast.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I really like that it's super diverse.
And it's not that we are trying to be like, oh, you know, trying to be politically correct, but it was a fun, diverse cast. It's one of those movies that you believe that it's a Hunter universe because you have the big robot, then you have this girl, then you have the guy who's
he's like a monk.
The monk. You have the Hispanic. You have the African American that was Foster.
The Indian guy.
You know, Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people, I mean, yeah, someone might say, oh, you guys are just saying that for politically correct, but I think a movie is better when it's more diverse.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, like, it makes sense. It's like, if we're going to talk 13th century England, I'm not expecting to see somebody, I was expecting to see what it looks like, but if you're talking about a whole galaxy, if you don't give me a whole bunch of aliens, you should give me a whole bunch of diverse people.
Yep.
Because I can't believe that this guy's from one planet, this guy's from another planet.
But they look the same.
They look exactly the same. All have the same accents. Everybody is there. It doesn't. This buys into the story.
Yeah, and it changes everything too, because most Star Wars movies, they don't ever have a different accent. I don't know. I mean, the only other accents that they have is alien. Yeah. But they don't ever have. You don't see for all intents and purposes, the other. Like white actors. They're all British.
Yeah, and I mean, but, it's one of those things that it doesn't bother me. Every single one of them had a British accent, but this is one of the things like it makes the movie better. So those little differences that make it better. Like I'm not expecting every movie to have the most every single diverse ethnicity, but I'm hoping that if you're making a movie about different people, there is different people. If you're making a movie about Spanish versus English, I'm assuming that I hope the Spanish people will have a Spanish accent, not a British accent.
That's why I think I like Guardians a lot too, because they showed the immense diversity in that, because they're going all over different planets, and you have a person like Yondu who is blue, and then of course Chris Pratt's an Earthling, so he looks like he's from Earth, but like the people that are on whatever the other human planet was that was in that movie, but they some of them have different accents. It makes for a better storytelling.
Yeah, it has nothing to do. Like I mean, everybody who knows us knows that we are normal dudes. We're not the most politically correct. We are not the most, what's politically correct, I guess. We're more in the middle, and I appreciate small gestures like that, and that's pretty much it.
But, so I'd give that movie,
how many beers?
4.5. I wouldn't give it a 5 all the way, because some parts were a little draggy, but definitely 4.5.
I will give them a good 4, just because I don't like I said, I'm trying to be more critical.
I'm always the one who rates higher. You're always the one that rates lower.
I think it was a good way, and it makes me happy and makes me excited for Han Solo because I saw what the capability they get to do. Like, and I can see a Star Wars movie that doesn't need Jedi to make it good.
Yeah, because the Han Solo movie should take place before any of that happens. Because,
well, it could be not.
Well, like,
could be right before, right after. It could be when he's in Tatooine. We don't know.
Yeah,
nobody knows what it could be right after.
I'm not going to think about that yet, though. I'm more excited for Episode 8. Ready to see.
Talking about Star Wars. Unfortunately, we have to talk about Princess Leia.
Yep.
That she passed away.
Yeah, and her mom.
I'm her mom, unfortunately.
It's just so sad. Fuck you, 2016.
2016.
You took David Bowie from us. Took Prince. You took fucking Princess Leia, man.
Yep.
You know what? At least you know what different 2016 between you and her. The Force is strong with her.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think that's gonna affect the Star Wars?
Well, they already said she had a huge part in Episode 9, so they have to rewrite a lot of that.
Do you think they're gonna rewrite it, or do you think the special effects to make it happen?
They could do that, just like they did with Paul Walker, or they did with the guy in Rogue. That's another thing that was really good in Rogue One. Rogue One, they had the general that was on the Death Star, and he's passed away since. But that was all.
They're minor things. Every single one of them were minor. Like Paul Walker was on like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This girl, the guy from Rogue One, it was the Dumbledore died.
Dumbledore died, but it happened after the second movie, so they were able to recast, and it didn't make a big difference.
But. I hope I don't want them to do CGI or fake it. I just hope they can give it a good tribute. Maybe, say that she passed away too, and then and make it a tribute where everybody is. You just rewrite the story and you put somebody else there. You put a new princess.
Yep.
I also saw that something nice, and just to leave it like that and go to the next subject is there's a petition to make her a Disney princess. An official Disney princess.
They should definitely do that.
So there's a petition online. Google it. Sign it if you think it should be. I do agree with it. Yes, because she's the first badass female.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of anyone before her that she had that tone and I don't need no man.
Yep. Well, that's her movement ever since. I mean, she was a huge feminist, and that's what made Princess Leia so good, because if Princess Leia acted any different, then she wouldn't be Princess Leia. She wouldn't be as bold as she was.
Yeah, she was like, if a guy can do it, I can do it.
Yep.
The mentality. And if a guy should do it, I should do it too.
That's why she was always like, fuck you, Han Solo.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why he liked the Han Solo, because Han Solo was the same way.
Yep. All right, what do you want to move on to next? I'll talk about Passengers real quick.
I think we should go with... Well, Passengers is a movie.
Yeah.
Movies and then shows.
Yeah, so I saw Passengers over the winter break with a buddy of ours. It was a really good movie. I mean, Chris Pratt...
Who you saw it with? Zero Flame?
Zero Flame, yeah. I definitely saw it. Twitch.com/Zero Flame.
Go and check him out. He's great at what he does, and he's a fun guy.
He's a fun guy, and he's cute. What? Oh, yeah, that's awkward. But yeah, it was really good. Chris Pratt did a good job, because I'm used to, even though in like Jurassic Park or Jurassic World they said, oh yeah, Chris Pratt's in a different role than he usually is in.
He's still comic relief.
He was more serious in that movie, but he wasn't. He was still Chris Pratt, goofy. But this movie, completely different. Like, you watch it, and at some certain points, you get disgusted at Chris Pratt. You're just like, God, dude, you're really fucked up, man. And it doesn't seem like him. His acting is a lot better. And Jennifer Lawrence, my girlfriend, she did a really good job too in this movie, because she has points where she does like, oh my God, like, what am I doing here? What's going on? And then she has points where she's just batshit crazy too. Mm-hmm. But they both did a good job. The storyline is really good.
It's like a spoiler-free version of it.
So basically, these people are on a spaceship that's taking them to a new planet. There's a bunch of planets that are colonized by a corporate entity. Let's just say, for instance, like Warren Buffett owned a bunch of planets, and he has spaceships that help colonize these planets. It's a huge business. So specific people, they pay in to go to these different worlds. And so these two people find themselves going to the planet, but for other reasons, they find themselves out of their... Basically, you have to go into cryogenic stasis because it takes 90 years to get there, or no, 100 years. And they find themselves awake after a few years of traveling. And so they have to figure out how to survive, on the ship. If they can get back into a capsule, if they can't. There's other stuff that happens to the ship as they're going. But
and they're both different classes. You said he's a worker.
Yeah,
she's an elite class.
He's a mechanic, and he's going to the new planet because he wants to be able to fix things, and on Earth now, there's nothing really to be fixed. Well, going to a new world where there's nothing, he's perfect for that because he's a mechanic. She's a journalist, but she's a higher class journalist, so she...
But one of my questions is, so you told me that there is like amenities. So if you're a rich person, you get different food, you get different...
Correct, yes.
But if anybody is in cryogenic, why would there be different food?
Because they still wake up. They wake up.
So they wake up before or during the trip.
They wake up during the trip. I think it's like a half a year before. Or no, it's a month before they get to the new planet.
So they can have an access.
So they have food there, but there's enough food on that ship to last. I mean, there's 5,000 people that are on there, so there's a shit ton of food. Well, they find out that there's she is a higher class person, so she, like, for instance, in breakfast, she can have an espresso. She can have omelets. And
it's like Titanic. Imagine Titanic, there's the elite class, and then there's the...
Exactly, yeah.
That's... I was just wondering, when you were telling me that story, I remember thinking this about, like, so why would they be food if they're all sleeping?
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Like, why would it be a pool?
Yep.
Like, that's, for me, was the question. Don't want to go in too much just in case somebody wants to see it. But that was my... Like, there was explanation for it, and it makes sense.
I'd give the movie a 3.5, 3.8. I would buy the movie.
Is it movie worthy? Like, you have to see it in the movie?
It was definitely awesome in theater, but I mean, I would say half and half. Like, you don't have to see it in like.
You know what I mean? Like, there's like
Doctor Strange. You should see in the theater. That movie was worth seeing in the theater just because...
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking Doctor Who. I was like, yeah, Doctor Strange, yeah, that would be...
But I would say this movie, you would be perfectly fine seeing it. It was cool at home, too. I mean, it was cool seeing it in the theater, but it's not...
Nowadays, like, the movie, like, your TVs, LEDs and all that stuff, it's good quality, but it's the ambience. Like, does it really bring you you need to have the big screen, you need to have the surround sound to the max.
I would say it's as good as... like The Martian.
Okay, so it's a good movie to watch.
It's along those lines.
I feel like Interstellar is one of those you have to see in the movie theaters.
I didn't see it. I saw it here at my house. We didn't, but yeah, I own that movie. That movie's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, so I would definitely recommend go see that. It was one of the best stuff Chris Pratt's been in.
So basically, it's Chris Pratt, Jennifer Lawrence, and the guy that was half robot, half butler.
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's in it, and then Michael. I can't think of his name, but he was in Underworld. He was the Lycan leader.
Oh, so it's basically a 3 or 4 people movie.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So yeah, so now we're gonna go ahead and march on to TV shows. We're probably gonna save the best for last because the last part's gonna.
What about Vikings?
You want to talk about it now?
Vikings or Sherlock? What do you prefer right now?
I was thinking we should save Vikings for last because it's a spoiler cast.
All right, well, let's go with Sherlock.
Sherlock, okay.
There's 2 episodes out right now.
Yeah, there's...
Third one's gonna come out this week.
Yeah, the third and last one, which is probably the...
Oh, it's only 3 episodes?
Yeah, they're always only 3.
I forgot about that.
But they have like a Christmas special, but this is... Next week might be the last episode ever.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're so busy with their careers, Benedict and Martin, they're so busy with their careers now versus when they first started. So,
but it's one of those shows that I can see could be getting, like, I like the amount they've done. Like, there's always those Sherlock TV shows that last forever, and yes, we all know it. He's super smart. Yes, we all know it. You have the quirky little, but this one is the only one that made Sherlock. Like, all TV shows make him, like, burnable and blah, blah, but this one is the only one that they did a good job with it, in my opinion.
I mean, the only thing that I would like, because they made it a big deal when they were publicizing this new season, that they kept publicizing Moriarty. Oh yeah, by the way, we're going into spoiler territory with this.
Yeah, so if you want to hear anything about...
You guys know all of our TV shows are spoilers, so...
Yeah, so Sherlock is going to be a spoiler.
Vikings is...
So...
but yeah, going into this, they made it a huge deal about Moriarty and his Miss Me stuff popping up. Well, they've shown that a little bit in the series, but they haven't shown him, like, at all. Like,
he's dead. I think that's what... you think he's going to be still alive?
I don't know. I think they're leaving it open to see... I could see them leaving it open
just in case.
Just in case. If there's another season, then they could be like, okay, we can use that. Like, maybe as a cliffhanger. But I don't know. They haven't mentioned a lot. But I mean, this season so far has been really good.
Yeah. Let's dive in. So, there's 2 episodes coming out right now. Basically, first episode is typical Sherlock. Nothing really major happens in the first episode.
The silliness. Well, Martin...
yeah.
Dr. Watson's wife gets killed.
That is true. That's the major thing. But it's a Sherlock episode. There's a villain. He figures it out.
But there's some fun stuff
but
in between.
He miscalculates. I'm starting to notice, I think now that I'm thinking about it, he's miscalculating stuff. So in the first episode, he miscalculated. The girl was saying, stop Sherlock. Stop. You're pushing it. You got it right now. You don't need to push it further. And he said, you're not going to shoot me. Give up. And normally they give up. But this is the first time he was like, no.
Yeah.
And shoots him. And that kills Dr. Watson's wife. Which was by itself pretty shocking. And then in the second episode, we were talking about it, how he also miscalculates the daughters. Like he's not talking to the daughter. So maybe that's 2 errors.
I was so surprised. That's the part that really blew my mind because
he miscalculated.
Because he was all jacked up on heroin, which part of that was fucking hilarious when he was like, when he was talking to her and he's like, see you later, and she's like, no, but really I have no one else to talk to. He's like, I don't care. He just kept, and he was like shooting the revolver. Man, I love that. That's like one of my favorite parts in the first season, or it's first or second season, but when Dr. Watson's like, Sherlock's sitting on the couch and then Dr. Watson comes in and he shoots the yellow spot that's in the wall, the circle in the wallpaper, and he's like, why did you do that? Why are you shooting in your fucking apartment? He's like, bored. I'm bored. So there was kind of that same scenario, like a callback. But yeah, when the villains of the second season, his daughter came in and she was completely different. I was like, oh my god, that is something kind of like Westworld where we should have caught on to that, because when you see her when she's sitting there in the meeting at the beginning of the episode,
they give you a good view of her.
She's completely different. But then when she goes into Sherlock's office, you're like, oh, that's the same girl. No need to think about it. And then it gets to that point, you're like, oh my god, she's a fucking different person, and she's been playing with them.
Yeah, so I think this is the case that Sherlock is high mistakes. Normally he's 5 steps above already. And in the state of the case, he still gets the bad guy. But basically, the daughter, he miscalculated. I mean, we're talking about it. It's like, the thing is, did he plan? Did he knew that he wasn't the daughter, so he had 5 steps above? Because, of course, it's still a Sherlock show, and they could play it off like, oh, I always knew, because this, and this. But he always, I think it's a mistake. And I think the first episode is pushing it. The second episode, so basically the first episode was not understanding human emotion that we know that he doesn't quite 100% get. The second one,
I think he was too focused on getting the father and missing out on the girl, his sister taking advantage of him, because he was too worried about getting Dr. Watson back into his party.
But it's still, he doesn't make mistakes.
He doesn't.
It's the second mistake he's made in this season.
Proving that Sherlock is human.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. But I mean, I wouldn't be shocked that if in episode 3 he made that all on purpose. And I hope they don't do that, because it gets me less interested. When it's like, even though I'm gonna be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is fucking crazy, but at the same time, it's like, it's a cheap out. Here, if he makes 3 mistakes, in the next episode, he makes another one mistake in each episode, and then the big reveal happens, and he has to solve it.
I think there's a lot of moving parts in his mind right now, because he's at some point thinking, okay, Moriarty's still alive, or there's some part of him that's messing with me. And he's more worried. He's worried about, Dr. Watson's wife dying and getting Dr. Watson back, because they're friends with each other. They're brothers, and he's trying to get him back. And I think in this season, we're seeing him become more human, because in the other season, he would never have hugged Dr. Watson, and he hugged him when he was just breaking down crying. He hugged him, and it was like, I'm here, and he was so persistent, like, oh my God, I am your protector. I will protect you guys.
And he failed.
Yep. And I think he's realizing that although he's really fucking good, he's a human. He's not perfect.
And I think it's...
And we find that out with Mycroft too this season. Mycroft is the same way as Sherlock, and he has stated time and time again in this season, I don't like making mistakes. That's why they don't hire outside agents to do their work anymore. And so he, at the beginning of this second episode, he had to apologize to that lady that they arrested first, the other secret agent that's along the lines as Mycroft. And yeah, I think they're both realizing that they're not perfect.
Yeah. My suspicion or theory in Sherlock and episode 3, he's going to make another mistake in episode 3, and it's going to be involving last episode 2, we recognize that this girl that's flirting with Watson is Sherlock's sister, and that's the third sister.
In the books, Sherlock, for those who don't know, Sherlock has his brother Mycroft, but he also has another brother. But in the show, they're taking a twist and making it a sister instead of a brother, which is a really nice twist.
Yeah, and I think my suspicion is she is going to help. Moriarty's going to make Sherlock have to choose between her sister and something. I think Moriarty's going to come back and use that as a playing card.
Dude, if Moriarty comes back,
not that he's gonna be dead.
No, I hope. In my heart, I hope he's not dead. So, I just feel like for him being Moriarty, I just feel like him killing himself was too easy of an out. I understand why he did it, because it psychologically just fucks Sherlock up, and it looks like he did it, kind of. I don't know. But I think it would be mind fuck to Sherlock if Moriarty came back. And was just
I wouldn't think it would be a mind fuck for Sherlock. I think his last aha or trick is using her sister, his sister for the last day. And I think it's gonna be. I think Sherlock is gonna have to make some sort of sacrifice, some sort of deal. He's gonna do something that is gonna more or less. I thinking if it's the last season, and this is the last season, trump it all, and it has to have an ending. And I think it's gonna be Sherlock's gonna sacrifice himself, like in the books.
Oh, he does that?
Doesn't he jump from? I think he does. I think Sherlock. But it's one of those things that you don't know if he dies or not, and they're gonna leave it open. But he's gonna look like he's gonna die.
And then if he does, he does. And then if they come back...
because I think they're going to leave it open.
They said that, I think, about after the third season, that they said that was it. I mean, not third season, but this is the fourth season. So, yeah, the third season, I think they stated that, this could be the end. Because Stephen Moffat, who creates the show, he also makes Doctor Who. But he's quitting Doctor Who now. This season that's coming out is his last season. So it's plausible that they could have another season.
It could be, but I mean,
it takes so long for them to make it. I mean, to film it, it's not that long, but they have to.
It's an hour and a half shows, and I don't know. I mean, if it continues, it continues. But my suspicion is, assuming that this is the last one, I'm gonna think Moriarty post-mortem, because if he's still alive, it's gonna leave too many. Like, what if they want to shut it down in season 3? Moriarty post-mortem is gonna use this. Is gonna use the sister. Or he's the one that frees the sister.
Or the sister's the one who's been behind Moriarty the whole time.
And she's the true Moriarty.
Well, no, because that would get conflicting with... I I know they're trying to stick they don't really stick with the books that much, but in the books, the brother is another villain, completely separate of Moriarty, because Moriarty is the main villain. But it's possible that maybe he's, like you said, he's behind her.
Letting her free, because it seems like
she trained him. I mean, it
could be. That's what I mean. I think Moriarty is going to be behind it and think, or he let her go, or he set up this chain of events, and then Sherlock, in some way or another, is going to have to maybe lose his intelligence. I don't know, something weird.
Yeah.
Something like, you know how that drug that makes you forget?
Mm-hmm.
Something maybe involving that drug or something, something to tie it up. Sherlock loses his mental capacities, loses who he is, and has to learn how to be a normal guy.
Yeah.
And the sister basically, turns out to be good or turns out to be bad.
I just can't. I like Dr. Watson's face when he found out that the girl that was at the bus stop was her, and she's as manipulative as Sherlock. Because Sherlock did the same fucking thing to Dr. Watson when he was dead. And he came back and was like, oh, hey, what can I get you for dinner? And then finally he took the mustache off and he was just like, argh! Yeah.
Something I noticed that I think do you think Watson is getting Sherlock Holmes-ish and Sherlock Holmes is getting Watson-y?
I didn't think about that.
Because Watson is starting to, he sees his wife, but he's getting those clues. So he's like, boom, look at that.
He's becoming, so Sherlock is more distant, but he's becoming more human, and Dr. Watson is becoming less human. He's becoming more resilient to emotions.
And he's becoming like Sherlock, getting the clues in a weird manner.
Yeah.
And Sherlock is being more willing to risk himself, willing to be more compassionate.
Yeah,
I think that would be a good end to finish. But we still got one last episode that we can we're gonna talk about next week.
Next week we'll be talking about the finale for sure.
I think we could leave it here in a half-ish.
Yeah.
Here are our thoughts.
Next week we'll rate the season.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Doctor Who, I think.
Well, the Doctor Who special. It was a Christmas special this year, and basically there was a superhero that's in New York. They added a superhero twist to Doctor Who, which was really cool. Yeah, the superhero got his powers was because Doctor Who gave him this little rock, and he's like, okay, take this. But the kid was sick, so the kid thought, okay, take this means take it, it's a pill. But it was actually a really rare rock where there's only 2 of them in the universe. So he takes it, and then he gets all these powers. I mean, and it works based off what you want, what you dream. So
you dream to be a superhero,
but he has all their powers basically. So he's invincible. He's super fast like Superman. He can fly like Superman.
I mean, there's no kryptonite in our universe, so you're invincible.
Yeah, he's definitely. I guess that would be it, because he's.
Well, I was gonna say he's fast as Flash.
I was just trying to keep with the Marvel, but I was like, damn it,
DC
definitely. But he had a lot of Marvel comics around him. It was cool because he had a mix of both in there, so it was nice seeing both comics together. But yeah, he
was fast as the Flash or Quicksilver. He was strong as Superman and Hulk. And he could fly like every superhero can.
Yeah. It was really neat. And then, of course, they had the Superman twist in there. And Doctor Who's he's talking to the kid. He's like, oh my God, do you see it? Clark Kent? Superman. Clark Kent, Superman? They're the same person. Well, no shit, Doctor. The kid's like, come on, man, you didn't know that? What? You knew that? And then so the kid becomes an adult and he's a superhero, and he does the same thing. Yeah, on Earth, in New York, and he does the same.
Future Earth, I'm assuming?
No, it's normal Earth, just like now.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's aliens that are still trying to take the Earth, and Doctor Who's trying to save Earth, but then the superhero kind of helps out too, but he still has he does the Superman thing where he wears glasses and doesn't. And the girl he's trying to get when he's not being a superhero. The guy is a nanny for the girl he likes, and she can't tell the difference between like him wearing glasses and then him having them off, that it's him. Us and Sherlock, we were oblivious to the two different women. It's like that. Or like if I was wearing my glasses and I wasn't. You can totally tell it's
yeah, but it's a fun twist.
It's funny. So yeah, I mean, I'm really stoked for the new season. Of course, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, but I would give that the Christmas special. I mean, last year's was really good because it kind of tied up his wife's story, so that was really neat. This one was really cool because it added a different twist to the show.
Yeah, it's a light-hearted Christmas special.
Yeah, so I would give it a 4. It was good.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Vikings.
So
people don't know that the Vikings, it follows a show about Ragnar Lothbrok. He is more or less reality, meaning that there's books about Ragnar Lothbrok, or books or stories or myths. Nobody knows if it's one person or if it's multiple person or if it's just an invention. Nobody really knows. But there's people who have said that they're sons of Ragnar Lothbrok. So there is sons of Ragnar Lothbrok.
Well,
nobody knows if it's a hero, if it's an idea, if it's multiple people saying that they're that name.
Well, they have stated, I've seen in the commercials, they have stated that they're pretty sure Ragnar was real because
Rollo, we all know that Rollo was real because he was the I think the first king of Normandy and a region of France. So I guess he's not the king. He was the ruler of Normandy. And I know that his great-great-grandson will become a king of England sometime. So that's
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. His great-great-grandson becomes, who is he? William the Conqueror.
Okay.
William the First. So he becomes the so we know that we don't know if Rollo was brothers of it. I think that's no. So basically, it goes here in this in the myth stories or whatever. The Ragnar Lothbrok gets killed in England, then they drop in a pit of snakes, and then his sons will come and conquer and just fucking wreak havoc of England and then leave for avenging the father. So that's what the story is about. So when the first episode of Vikings is Ragnar Lothbrok being a normal guy.
Farmer.
He finds a stone that lets him sail. He finds a stone that has his buddy Floki, who's a ship maker, build him a ship that can travel west to England. So the first season they go to England and do this wreak havoc. Second season is more or less the same. They go back to England, they wreak havoc, and they made friends.
The first season, it starts with them finally building ships that are capable of going. They don't know about England, but they know that there are other lands.
So they get there, they wreak havoc, and
then they come back.
See, second season is they go back one more time.
The second season is when the clans are kind of fighting, and then they go with King Oric
I think it was. And
then
King Oric,
they go back, and then King Oric tries to stab Ragnar in the back, and then Floki and Ragnar and his group do like a huge double cross and kill King Oric. But in the meantime, Rollo's getting over being a traitor also, because he kind of traded against Ragnar. And then
the third season
is when they were going to
Paris.
And that was last year.
And then there's the fourth season that after. So now we're gonna start after. Did we have a Vikings episode before this?
Yeah, we've talked about the first 2 episodes, how they were kind of boring.
So now it gets interesting. Now basically Ragnar Lothbrok, Ragnar goes to England, and we now know his scheme. He wants to die. He wants to die in a fashionable way so he can go to Valhalla.
But he is smart in the way as he tells King, whatever his name is. What's that king's name?
The King of Wessex.
Yeah, he tells him, hey, you need to send me over to the other...
Like, if you're not going to kill me, if you're not going to kill me, my kids are going to think that I'm dead. And they're going to come here asking questions, and they're going to fucking wreak havoc. Or you can, if you don't want to kill me because you're my friend, you can send me to him. He will kill me, and you more or less can clean your hands saying, I never did it.
But when his son was leaving, Ivan the Boneless, he told him, he's sending me over to this king for me to be killed, but kill both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so
he's like, and people will fear your name.
Yeah.
Which will be true. If they follow history, it will be true. And then at the same time, his son, the son of Ragnar, what is it? Bjorn goes to Algeciras, place in Spain.
Is that where they were?
Yeah, they were in Algeciras, a place of Spain.
Really? I thought they were in Constantinople.
They're in Algeciras. It's right next to Gibraltar. So they've right crossed the Mediterranean, and it's right next to it.
Have you been there?
Yeah, many times. And back in that day, it was a Muslim. It was conquered by the Muslims, and the Christians were starting the Reconquista, or one of the first crusades.
Oh, okay.
So it was right before that, and back in the day, that was a center of education. Like, that was one of the most important places on earth. Not Algeciras, but I mean that Muslim territory. They built great buildings. They were, smart people. So they went there and fucking wreaked havoc, like Vikings do. And they raped and they pillaged, like Vikings do.
I can't believe Floki's wife. Like, no, I'm going to take this girl. We just killed her parents. I want her. She's my daughter. She's the same age as our daughter would have been if she would have died. Mm-hmm. Floki's like, no, bitch, you crazy. We can't just take kids. Just because she's the first one you saw, we can't take her. Uh-huh. She's like, no, I don't care what you say, Floki. You're a dick and I'm taking her.
Why do you think Floki didn't want to kill the Muslims?
He's intrigued. I think he's intrigued because they're so...
Religious?
Not religious, but they...
No idols?
No idols. There's nothing in that room that they don't show their gods like Odin. They don't have a cross up, like Christians.
Do you think he's gonna convert?
No, I just think he finds it interesting.
So why wouldn't he kill him? He still wouldn't. I just don't get it. Like, why would he risk his life for them? He's like, if you want to kill them, you can.
Because I think he's getting older, and I think he's not
as savage anymore.
He likes still fighting and stuff, but I don't think he's in the... For instance, now, I don't think he would have... If he was the age he is now on the show versus when he killed Athelstan, I don't think he would have killed Athelstan.
You think it's because he killed Athelstan and he saw the ramifications and all that could be like, we should not kill... Because something I think Vikings were known for, they weren't savages as people tend to think. They didn't have horns in their helmets like people seem to think. They were applying...
They did a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, that's true. But
they got some wicked tattoos.
But... So, they go out Algeciras and they wreak havoc. And at the same time, Odin visits all the Ragnar Lothbrok's sons. As they got missing the eye. He was missing the eye patch, but oh well. And they all know that he's died. And now I think we're gonna have a couple more episodes of just building up, and then they're gonna go to fucking England and wreak havoc.
I think this season I think I looked it up, and there's 3 or 4 episodes. It ends the first week of February.
Is this the last season?
No.
So there's one more?
They haven't even said that the next season canceled, or they said that they're starting to film the next season, but I don't think there's nothing in Slate stating that it's going to be the last, but I think they're going to have a lot of trouble with Travis Fimmel not being in there. It's going to be really hard for people to keep interest.
I don't know.
I mean, I like the progression of the story, but a lot of the key characters or key actors are becoming like, okay, so the guy who's playing Rollo is playing. They're coming out with a Taken show. Yes, a show. That's right, people. A show based off the movie Taken, and it was in his earlier years. Will he? See him make a family. See him fight bad guys. But yeah, he's playing Brian, whatever.
The guy from Taken?
Yeah, he's playing Liam Neeson's part, basically, but when he was younger. Mm. So, I mean, am I going to watch that show? Probably, because Taken was awesome. And Rollo's cool. But, so I think he's out. Travis Filmel's huge now, so I think he's going to... I mean, he's obviously out because he died, and then...
But I think it's gonna be a good progression. I think they have 1 or 2 more seasons in there. Yes, because if they follow the story, it just that was pretty much it. They're gonna go and fucking destroy England. Like they will destroy. That's if you ever study it or look it up, they will just basically go from the north of England, and they're just gonna destroy everything until they go head down and then up again and then leave.
Oh wow!
And that's it. They go and destroy, and that's why the Vikings have such a bad name.
Oh, okay.
It's because of England. England hated Vikings. Mm-hmm. The Vikings, they hated them.
The Saxons.
So they're just gonna come in and destroy. And just and that's pretty much it. And I think now maybe they're gonna set up this story of they're gonna start building it up. So maybe next season it's the last one and they wreak havoc. Or they have a couple more seasons. But I don't see no more. But I think people, Hollywood or producers are learning that if you finish a story good, like a good story, you don't push it and push it and push it just to get the extra views. And you say like, no, well, let's finish it with class.
Yep. Like Thrones is going to be. Like
Breaking Bad. Like there's a whole bunch of shows there are, and I mean that episode was alone. They were great. They got their story back again. They got fighting. They got a good plot line going in. And like now you're interested. Now you don't think.
I like the brothers. Well, I like most of the brothers.
There's one of them.
The blonde kid is weird. He's kind of douchey. But I mean, Ivan is fucking badass. That kid is for not having functionable legs. He is a kick-ass character.
Fucking killer.
And I don't know what it is about his eyes, though, but his eyes are horrifying, man. Like, they're just like that crystal blue color where it just gives you the creeps. I don't know if it's the cameras that they use, but he just has that cunning look. You're like, oh, God, this dude's going to kick some ass.
Cool story about Ivan the Boneless. Nobody knows exactly why they call him Ivan the Boneless. Some people say it could be because he couldn't walk and he had misinformed legs. Some people said that because he couldn't get he couldn't have kids, so he was, is it sterile? What's the he couldn't get hard, something like that. But here's like a little thing from Wikipedia, and he's like, Ivan the Boneless was a Viking leader and commander who invaded what is now England. According to the tale of Ragnar Lothbrok, he was son of Ragnar Lothbrok, and he was brothers with Born Ironside and yada yada yada. Basically, he fucking destroyed. He was a genius commander. He was a great swordsman and a great archer.
Oh wow!
So he's gonna go down, and I'm thinking they're gonna get him in a horse. I'm assuming
something they have contraptions to make it to where he's not.
That's what I think, or he's just gonna be the leader of the brothers. Saying you go here, you go there, you do this, and he's just gonna reek. And I'm excited, and it's one of the few. I think it's the only history show that I watch.
Yeah.
Before history was fucking Pawn Stars, because I love the documentaries,
I miss history being history. Although they did have that the Fall of Rome show, which was really neat. The Barbarians or whatever. I like that.
I think if the History Channel did that more of that, unless the Pawn Stars, it will be a good show. Even though
I miss History Channel when it was History Channel,
because it was just it got to Pawn Stars, Nazis, Hitler's secret plans, Hitler's magical items.
Is Hitler still alive?
Yeah, and Jesus.
Yeah, now they don't have anything about like. Used to see, here's a documentary about the Revolutionary War. Here's one about the Civil War. Although I do like their little miniseries that they've been coming out with. Like they had the Revolutionary War one, like the Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, they're making good shows. They're getting good shows, but none as good as Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings is solid. I knew that show would be good when I first saw the trailer for that show. I'm like, this is going to be a really good show. I knew no one in the show, which I think nowadays if you see a show and there's not going to be a lot of people in there that like, for instance...
You're betting a good, strong
story. Look at Stranger Things. The strongest part of that cast was those kids.
Wow, but I mean, it did have good famous people.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it?
Winona Ryder's.
Winona Ryder's. Yeah. Was it? I mean... But she could disappear. I do agree. But I do agree with you that I think Vikings is one of the few exceptions where a less known channel makes a show with not known people makes a good show. But normally, if like HBO or one of those makes a show with not enough famous people, you know it's gonna be solid.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a good transaction. I am super excited for this TV show that comes out tonight, Taboo.
Oh yeah, I have that recording.
It's at 10 o'clock, I think. 9 or 10.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's
with Tom Hardy
and the guy from Game of Thrones.
Every cast member.
The Pope from Game of Thrones.
Every cast member that's died in Game of Thrones is in there.
So it seems great. It seems super dark. Something that I'm also excited about that I'm not sure what channel it is Jason Momoa. Oh, it's a Netflix. Jason Momoa.
That one looks really good.
It looks like he's going to be really good.
The Frontier show.
When
that should be coming out in February or something like that.
I'm not sure when it comes out, but fucking Jason Momoa is in it.
Fucking Jason Momoa, man.
And he is going to...
A crowd for a king.
Yeah, he's going to do what Dothraki and Vikings do. I think he's going to rape and pillage.
He's fucking Aquaman now, man, and he's making Aquaman not gay. And I'm not meaning that in a mean way. I'm saying like he's not lame. But yeah, anyways, so out this season of Vikings is going pretty good. So yeah, I have one thing to talk about: Daily Bugle.
All right,
that's it. I was correct. They released today the synopsis for the second season of the second half of the season of Walking Dead, and it is March to War. So season 8, like I've thought about all along, is going to be all out war, which is going to be fucking amazing. That it's going to be a whole season of them fighting.
And after season 8, do you think season 9 will be the Whispers?
I think season 9 will be half of it. I think half of it will be, them
post-war.
Yeah, post-war, and then it'll show.
But they're not really good at post-war stuff. Normally, they really jump like.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I wish they did a little bit better. Was the pause, because it's been like years between technically from one thing to another.
I don't know how they're going to do that. They might not do it because obviously Carl is still going to be the same age, so they can't really hop time a couple of years.
And you're going to give him a shit ton of steroids. Yeah. That's why he doesn't want to do it no more. It's like, I don't want you getting injections in the butt.
Yeah. Carl, you have to stay in this.
But yeah, it would be funny if they give him like because in the comic book he gets ripped.
Oh yeah.
It would be funny if they do you watch Rick and Morty?
I need to watch that show.
Well, there's this part where there's Rick and his granddaughter, and they get jugged up to beat this magician, and they stick steroids.
Oh my god!
So imagine getting good old Carl like this, getting steroids and just pumping iron, and then just comes back.
He's like with the hat on still.
Yeah, little fight he's not very tall. He doesn't look very tall.
No,
like a fat full little girl, ripped to shreds. And there's talk like Rick.
Yeah.
Dad!
Daryl, come over here, bench press with me. Why are you sounding like your dad?
One of the things I hate about Walking Dead is hearing Rick with his British accent.
Oh, it sucks so much compared to Rick's. He's just like, oh, this season was just so good. I saw something.
It was so bloody. Yeah.
There's a guy who I guess who's an extra in a lot of shows. And he's suffering from cancer, and he's friends with a lot of these actors, because I think he's also like he is like he's handicapped also.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Andrew Lincoln
physically handicap.
I don't know what he has, but Andrew Lincoln sent him a get well thing, a video, and he's like, "Hey, so and so, can you get a fucking Kyle." Can you, he's like, hey, can you get better? I hope you get better, blah, blah. But the whole time he's sending him this get well message, and you can see it on YouTube, he's in Rick voice. Right. Because he's like Daniel Day-Lewis. When he's in character, he doesn't get out of that voice. Right. So when he's on set, the whole time he's doing Rick voice. Which
because when they do the little interviews in between the shoots,
that's
goes
different.
British.
That's different. But when he's on set and they're acting that day during the day, but if he does those in between, like they show like on Talking Dead, then he's gonna go back to being Andrew Lincoln.
But it is
instead of being this.
Yeah, Rick goes there and they bam, and then he's like, yeah, it was a really good show, and you know, I just that director, blah 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 blah, it's just so good. It bothers me. I know it's stupid, but it bothers me. Same with Sherlock. Sherlock and Doctor Who. It bothered Doctor Strange. When he was in Doctor Strange
I didn't
mode,
like his Doctor Strange. I like
it
Sherlock.
Bothered me.
It bothered me too. Because I like Sherlock has just like a profound British accent. He's just like, his voice is so deep, but he's just, his presence is just, I mean, that's why he's Smaug, dude. Just because he's just, his voice is just so...
Yeah, but it's still his voice. He was Smaug, I am the most, you know, even though he had this, and when you have Sherlock, he's still more sophisticated.
But when he's Doctor Strange, you're just like...
Oh, he did a great job.
He did a fantastic job.
No, if you did not hear him beforehand, you would think he's American.
Yep.
But it's one of those things that when you hear one voice for so long...
When you're used to something, yeah.
Even though, like with Rick and I, that's his fake voice.
Yeah.
And we like his fake voice, but I'm pretty sure if we actually saw him every day and talked to him, the Rick voice would be the one that bothers us.
Well, that's like watching Lincoln and seeing Daniel Day... Well, no, watching Gangs of New York and seeing... you know, Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher, and then see him do an interview about that. He's like, oh yes, I did this character like this, and he's not like crazy Bill the Butcher, American New Yorker. I fucking love that movie.
But I think
that's it, guys.
Alright, guys, well, you can always email us. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I'm part of a non-profit organization called March for Moms. If you guys are interested, just... follow us or go to March for Moms on Facebook. We also have a website and we're on Twitter and Instagram. It would help out. It's for babies and moms. And also, where can they find us?
You can find us in chewnerds at gmail.com, chewnerds on Twitter, and chewnerds
on iTunes and Google Play now. Well, hopefully. It says that we're on there, but we're on there.
Just look for us.
Yeah.
If not, go to...
And check out our new fancy emblem.
Yeah, it's true.
Courtesy of Daniel's wife, Student.
Yeah, we should find out who his boy's name is.
Yeah.
I think I have his email. I guess I should ask if he wants to get his name put.
Yeah, next episode we'll mention him.
Yeah, we'll mention it. If he wants to be mentioned in this. But yeah, one of the students of Topeka High made us this amazing logo, and we are truly appreciated.
All right, guys. Cheers, and have a good rest of the week.
Cheers.